1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello and welcome to this week's Mudblood podcast. As you can see probably to the right here, William is not here. He's away to flute band practice. So I have drafted in Soundman, and you know him from last week. My brother Sean.
How's it going, folks?
So Sean's going to fill in for a change this week. And yes, just before we start up, just a shout out to our sponsor, which is Hypnosis Clothing. And if you use the code Mudblood10, you can get 10% off. So big shout out to Hypnosis Clothing. Thanks again for the stuff. Also want to just give a big shout out this week to my main man Christopher Moss at North Belfast, who is an official sponsor of myself doing my stand-up and done all the visuals at the back of the stage for
here. That's the first thing a lot of us said when we came in. The signs up the back all look brilliant. Like
it was 100%. I had went into his office and he had two of them, and one of them was like Biggie Smalls and then another one was loads of all different rappers, and I was like, and that's what I want to do. A lot of people on the podcast actually say to me about the back wall not being finished behind us in the studio. That's going to be.
That'd be class.
So the reason why I haven't finished it, because I haven't went down to pick up the LED lights and then the stuff to build the skin to go over it, and you can change that to whatever you want. So he's very, very talented and very, very good what he done, and the stage looked amazing on Sunday and Monday night. So I'm really looking forward to using him again, which it will be because obviously he's my sponsor now. So big shout out to Chris Moss. Thank you very much. Chris. It was amazing.
Hi, and a wee shout out for a fella called Mike Crilly, Fighting Mike Crilly from Coleraine.
Right.
Came out to one of my gigs there on Friday night in Port Rouge. And this is just if I you might know from the
opening song.
The opening song.
Which is your band?
It's my band, yeah. And we go about doing mostly cover stuff. You know, we only really done covers before COVID and all that there, and then over COVID we started releasing our own stuff and all that there sort of thing. And but so we haven't even went out and done original stuff. I've always done the original stuff with other bands. But went out, and I'm still doing the covers with out playing the local bars and stuff like that. And we're up in the Atlantic in Port Rouge there. And Mike came out and started going, which one's Paddy's brother? And so obviously I haven't been on the camera before last week. And Mike came up and was going, play closer. I love the podcast. And he's asked me all questions about the podcast. So fair play, Mike.
There you go.
Great.
Let's see, it's working now. So technically then I owe us because we're getting you fans. Well, I went till the boxing after my gig in Castledurg, and do you know what? Castledurg was a small crowd. There was 25 tickets, so 12 people turned up. There was a mix-up. The bar says that I wasn't going on to 10, but I needed to get back to see the McCullen fight, but we're always starting at 8. 12 people that came, absolutely loved it. It was a great gig. Aaron and William done support. It was brilliant. So we get back to the McCullen fight, and I couldn't get my wristband to get in the ringside, so I had to go and sit in the cheaper seats, and I get tortured by people. So there was two wee guys in there, and one of them sent me a message and was like, you have to mention me on the thing. And I probably can't remember him now. So
that's the thing. The more this is going on, the more people are going to say that every week, aren't they?
Can you mention me? Can you mention this? Can you mention that?
And it's not even like a big-headed thing of like you'll have to start saying like I can't, or because like literally if you said to everybody, we would spend the first 15 minutes.
There's loads of people do it, but I did say to these two wee lads that I would mention them. Many nights ago was the fight.
Was that Friday night? Or no? Because
it was Friday night.
Was it Friday night? Because that was the night I was up in Port Rouge.
I think it was, and I might want to be able to find him now, but oh dear, I can't find him. But anyway, yes. So it's the week of basically Fela, and you know, besides doing it myself. Was there anything that you went to that? Did you go to anything other than that?
Well, see, I always do a bit of work with the fella.
Right.
With doing the sound and stuff like that. So mostly all the sort of small community events. Like I'd done sound at a great wee talk down St. Joseph's Church.
Right.
And engineered at the wee like family event in the waterworks.
Right, okay.
But one of the bigger nights I want to get to is the 80s night on Saturday here.
Right. You know that
Tony Headley isn't playing anymore.
And that's cracked up a few people, but he's got COVID.
Yeah. But like, let's be real. Like, were you even going for Tony Headley?
Can I be honest? I would go to see him.
Nah, he's good. Like, and Spandau Ballet are good, but he's going to be playing a lot of his solo stuff. To be honest,
you probably don't know. Yes.
That you probably don't know. I was more going just for the crack. Like, it's feel it. Let's be real. All of you said, if you're going, you're probably getting a free ticket.
It wouldn't stop me going at all. Not one bit. Did I ever tell you about meeting him?
No.
Well, what basically happened was I was working in London, and me and my mate decided to take a sightseeing day because we were always working when we were over. And he says, "Where do you want to go?" And I says, "Well, just dander." So we were dandering about, and we were heading towards 10 Downing Street. And outside 10 Downing Street there was a protest, and the traffic had stopped, and there was these they're like a cart, they're like a big army thing, and they go in water and they drive in the road.
Right. Like
they're like a tourist boat.
Yeah. Oh, them are things like the ones you get in Liverpool.
Like the ones you get, yes, you can get them in Dublin and all too. In Dublin they call them faking boats, but in London he was sitting in the back of one with a kid, and we were stopped. So obviously with the side of it being open, and I went, "There's Tony Hadley," and the fella was with me was like, "Who's Tony Hadley?" And I was like, "Spandau Ballet, sang this, sang that," and he was like, "Aye, well, I don't even know who he is." And I was like, "Right, okay." So I turned and I says, "Well, Tony," and he turned around, and I was talking to him out of the side, and he had, I don't know if it's grandchild, if it's his child, I don't know, but it was a wee toddler, and he was talking away like, and I was saying, "I wouldn't mind getting a photo with you," and he was like, "Well, how are you going to get up the side?" Because the thing was massive. So I tried to take a photo, and eventually I got my photo to turn the right way, and I went to take the selfie, and the thing drove away. So I couldn't even get a photo to show people, because he would have been sitting, and it would have been a cracker photo, but sure, only one.
But would you follow his, like, you know, obviously would you have liked Spandau Ballet and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know it, but Spandau Ballet done a song which was called "Across the Barricades."
I think about here.
And it was about here, and it's actually about, do you know Tony Devlin and Brasnack?
Yeah.
The actor. Well, Tony's cousin was shot dead in 1983.
Right.
And he was the brother of Jim Riley, who was the drummer in
Stiff Little Fingers.
So his brother. Now, he was working with Bananarama and Spandau Ballet when he was in London, that guy.
Yeah.
And he only came home for his friend's funeral, who was killed. And a British soldier shot him in the back out the side of the wake house. And his funeral, Bananarama was there, Spandau Ballet, Sting, like all these pop stars came over because he was within the business and the industry. And when they were here, it inspired them to write that song.
That's mad.
So isn't that unreal? Kids O'Reilly, you called him. And he gets shot in the back. And Thomas Kids O'Reilly. So that isn't the only reason we listen to him. I like 80s music, so, and his voice, I particularly like his voice. Like.
But I would never have associated that with the music you listen to. Like, because growing up, always remember you coming in the street, you could hear your car before you saw it, and you would have been blasting out Prodigy and all the rave tunes. Like.
Yeah. Oh, I was a rave head, like, there's no doubt, but I mean, when I was younger, even some of my mates now, I think I've joked about this before. Like, I would have hid the fact that I would have listened to Led Zeppelin and Metallica, and because it wasn't, you had to get beat up in school. Yeah. But it wasn't until later years that, like, some of my mates went, "I didn't even know you listen," and I went, "I wouldn't have said you." And they were like, "No, we were the same way. We just never said because." You know, you just let on you like Scooter and all them rave ones.
Yeah.
Because you had to get beat up in school. Because all the guys with long hair in school and all listened to all that used to get beat up. So you didn't really tell anybody.
So it was more my crowd when
it was your crowd,
I went to school.
Yeah.
And then there's on Sunday night you came out to Thunderstruck and all.
I know.
AC/DC.
Love AC/DC.
Yeah.
Always did love them, like. And I tell you, Oasis probably one of my big bands that I really, really like. And that was my generation on that. So it was a bit strange because people had long hair and all, listened to them. So that sort of came in a wee bit.
And you went down with Andrew and all to see Oasis when you were dead young.
Yeah,
didn't
like
you?
15.
Ma.
And we went down. And do you know what? All my mates in school were getting tickets. And I never got a ticket. And they were all laughing at me because I didn't get a ticket because we all liked them. And then Andrew, they put on an extra night on the Wednesday. So say they were selling Thursday, Friday and Saturday in Dublin. So all my mates get tickets. I didn't get tickets. And then because of demand, then Oasis put on Wednesday and a Sunday show.
Yeah.
And we got tickets for the Wednesday, which was the first night. And all my mates were going, gee, we're going down all in the crowd. You have to go down with your sister and her boy and all that. And we went down. It was the only night that Liam performed.
But that ended up being like a legendary concert, didn't it?
Like it was like because he only performed the one night.
Yeah.
That night when they went back to the hotel, his dad turned up and he fought with his dad, and then that's why he never performed the rest of the week.
Madness.
So, but it was a great show, like absolutely brilliant show, to be honest with you.
But I got on that because we were talking about the Feel It and
yeah.
you know, 80s night. As I said, everybody's going to a 80s night. Most of the ones that are on going, is this great? I want my money back. I probably never paid any money for it in the first place.
I know. People are hard to please. It's one of them things with the Feel It. I was talking to one of the organisers, one of the guys involved in it the other day, and he was saying like some of the stuff that they get sent, messages and stuff. He says you would have a field day with it, and I says, well, why don't you just give me it, and I'll actually put on a show talking about the stuff that they get sent. And what people say, like, I reckon the fella could have, you know, the fella could bring back Freddie Mercury, right? Frank Sinatra, Jim Morrison, Bob Marley, right? And put them all on stage in there, and somebody would still come out and say, well, you never brought back frickin' Amy Winehouse's bastards. Do you know, it's just...
Somebody'd have something to say about it.
Yeah, it's like I seen a comment somebody put up that says, where's the 1950 jazz or bluegrass night for everybody? And I was like that's really a special night.
That's for you, mate. That's for you and your full mates. They're not going to be
putting that in, like, you know. It's people just like to get annoyed at things.
Yeah.
I have to thank the fella. I mean, they've always been very, very good with me. I got my first ever gig 10 years ago. And that was reported it was 7 years ago. It wasn't. Yet again, a reporter taking an interview from me and getting it wrong. But 10 years ago, by chance, I get asked to go up to the fella because I heard I was doing comedy, and none of them had even seen me doing comedy, and they just says, look, can you help us get a comedian? Got Des Bishop in and his brother, and I started there, and then there now, on my 7th time doing it, I'm headlining it. It's just amazing.
Yeah, like it's not perfect, you know. It's not a perfect festival, you know. It has its problems, but for what it is, you know what I mean.
Even that as far as it's come, for like a community-based festival to become the biggest community festival in Europe, and like some of the nights I've had.
See this year,
like the boxing coming to Falls Park. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah,
you know?
I think now if you're a young person growing up in West Belfast, you know what I mean, especially like in recent years when you're going and seeing McCullen from the road, you from the road, other people from the road that are
you can even say there's Paddy Raff doing a night in it. He's from West Belfast.
Absolutely.
I'm doing a night in it. I'm from West Belfast. McCullen's from West Belfast. Sean McComb's from West Belfast. You know, all these guys who are from Paddy McCory, the boxer, he's from West Belfast. All these local fellas, and we're all at big nights performing in our own thing. So
while it was great getting all the people big over, now it's sort of like, you know, this is West Belfast.
This is what we can produce. You know, it's like
that's unbelievable.
It's unreal.
Unreal. Just the motivation that will give up and coming people.
Yeah, young kids coming up.
Unreal.
I mean, I was even thinking about it. What could I do to sort of give back? And I was thinking in my head, like genuinely, next year or something, I should maybe look into having a workshop with the kids about comedy or something, you know.
Well, there isn't anything like that.
But that's what I mean. If I maybe done something like that in the festival, for me to give back a wee bit or something, even if it was a wee course over 3 nights or something, just teaching them about comedy and just a few steps and guide into it. It would be something. Do you know what I mean?
And like I said, it isn't perfect, but they do what they can. Like, and they've done a great job.
I mean, what they put on, there's something for everybody to go to. Them debates they do now, I don't even get them. I've started watching some of them during COVID, and they're unreal.
Yeah,
I didn't realise that they're actually as good as they are. You know, I watched a couple that I would have maybe had interest in, and I was like, that's like proper debates. Like, you know, we had a debate in society in school, and I was in it, and I have to say, their debates were brilliant. Yeah. So thumbs up to the fella.
Yeah, and even my wee journey along as well. The first wee
gig I done City Hall, wasn't it?
Before City Hall, on the site of the old barracks, before the grass. And all was there.
Right. When it was still a wee rough ground.
It was just wasteland, and they set a stage up there. I was 10 years ago, and that was my first gig.
It was the same year as I started in it.
Which is, you know what? That's nuts.
No, it is.
Like,
well, maybe you'll get the headline in there.
Well, that's a few years off yet.
Well, you never know.
But
you never know. Why not?
But hats off to Fela. I had a couple of wee topics in mind.
Go ahead.
That I thought we haven't covered yet in the podcast. And the first one I was thinking of was Celtic matches. Because you've talked about the best Celtic match you've been at. But, you know, and you said the Man City one. But I thought the funniest trip, because some of the stories that come, like I used to go over with my dad, you know, and you, you know, every couple of weeks. And just even as a kid, going over was funny stories.
Yeah.
What's some of the funniest stories for you going over the matches?
Well, one of the ones for me was one time we get on the boat and the bar was packed out, so they weren't letting anybody else up the stairs to get into the bar. And we were thinking about it. Me and my mate was going, how are we going to get up the stairs here? We're only probably 15 or 16, and we stumbled across a wheelchair.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And he looked at me and I looked at him, and he went, well, you play things better than me, so you're getting into it. And I was like, right, okay. So we went round, and there was a wee porter on the lift, and he was like, he's alright, lads. And he was like, yeah, can I get him up the stairs here? All our ones is up in the bar. And he was like, it's packed. And he was like, well, I don't really want to leave him down here and go up. And he's like, okay, no, I'll bring you up. So he pushes me in the lift, and we go up the stairs. Takes me out of the lift, and we go into the bar, and literally you can't get into the bar. It's like rammed. And your man goes in and goes, right, lads, everybody move out of the road. Now, a lot of people in the bar knew exactly who I was, right? A lot didn't. So the first ones that we came to were a bunch of guys from Lurgan and Banbridge and stuff. They were Celtic club, and they sort of just moved a few things like a chair on the road and got me into there, and they went, just, you can stay here, is that okay for you? And I was like, aye. And they were banning us drink, right? So word spread around, people were looking over and stuff, and some people going, what's the matter with him, why is he in a wheelchair? And then so the mate that was with me get up, went over to the other ones and was going, listen, this is just to get us in here and all. But these things have started banning us drink and all, so we don't even want to, it's went too far now. And I was like, I need to go to the toilet. It was 2.5 hours in the boat.
Yeah.
And I'm holding it. So I could see where we're coming in. They were going to say, right, he's going to have to leave. And I went, look, I can't. So everybody was sitting waiting in the bar. And I jumped up and went, yay. And everybody went, that's a Marigold. It was bad. I was trying to get us. They were going to kill us. The porter was going to get his cap behind and all for taking the chair.
Jesus.
So it was funny, like. And then another night we were over, and it was a European night, and they got the result, and we all went, I'm not going home, and everybody went, I'm not going home. And then
that's like, always a big talk, isn't it? Like over there when there is a result, or if people have gone a bit too far and got juice, it's always like, I'm staying,
right?
And never happened.
No, well, we did. We basically just left and didn't go on the bus, and we went to the bar, and it's like a Wednesday or Thursday night. So next minute the bar closed, and it was like 11 o'clock. And we're like, what's happening here? And Mum's like, even though it's a match night, like it's during the week, it's only use here. So we closed it, and we couldn't get it. It was against Man United. We couldn't get a hotel room.
Jesus.
So we went into the central train station, and we were sleeping on the benches, and the cab came in, about 3 o'clock in the morning. Get out, you can't sleep in here. Train station's closing. And I says, mate, we're actually staying in that hotel in there. He says, what do you mean? And I says, well, we're staying in the Central Hotel. It's just there. We couldn't get in. That door's locked. He says, I have a key for it. I'll open it. So he opened the door and let us in. And we went up and we found a laundry room. There's all these duvets and pillows, right? So we all made wee beds up. And one of the fellas that was with us put the ironing board up.
Yeah.
And was on the ironing board at the bed. Elevated himself. In the middle of the night, it collapsed. And the guy came in from the hotel and threw us out. We ended up walking about the streets of Glasgow from about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Aye. Me and my dad went to the reverse fixture of that one.
Right.
The one down
at Trafford.
In Man United.
That's right. You get there beat up.
I got beat up. I was, what year was that? It was like 2006. I was 9.
Jesus Christ.
And we, my daddy was running with a fella in the town who was part of the Carrie Duff Man United supporters club, and they were sitting talking after the run, and he's going, I'd love to be over watching the United and Celtic game. And he says, but I can't get tickets, want to bring the wee fella over? And he says, I can get you in with us. He says, but now you can't wear any Celtic stuff, or you can't, cheer or anything when the goals go in. And Dad's going, we just want to get over, So we went over, and my dad had my Celtic top on me and my Celtic scarf underneath a big coat. It was like we were MI5 agents undercover on the bus the whole way over if he's carried off fans. And on the bus, on the boat the whole way over, like behind enemy lines. And we get in the Manchester, and we had to go to all the United fan like bars, everything goes into the United end, into Stratford end, and on the way in, my daddy and a fella he worked with, and he went as well and brought his son, and we were both going. They were selling them air horns, outside the ground, and we were going, get us one, and they're going, no, you're not getting one, You put my head away with that later. But then we tortured them that much. They went, right, we'll get you one. And it was meant to go to the Emmons because they were United fans. But I was playing with it outside the ground and forgot to give it back to the wee lad.
Right.
And so I had it going in. And my daddy was like, did you take that? Right, you're only allowed to use it if Celtic score. We're playing United, like, who went on to win the Champions League next year.
Right.
Champions England against Celtic. Like, my daddy's going, there's not a hope in hell Celtic's getting a goal here.
And then Vanagor scores.
And Jan Vanagor Fastlink scores 9 minutes into the match. And Old Trafford goes silent. Like, you could hear a pin drop. And one wee Fenian stands up in the ground and goes, Durr! And blows the air horn. And this woman in her 50s behind us, in the row behind us, grabs the air horn off me and starts bashing me over the head with it. A 9-year-old, like, just shows you the bitterness. Now, like, I can understand that's, aggravating, a wee kid doing that, but the things I got called, like, as a 9-year-old, like, you wee Fenian bastard, get up, or where you belong with all them dirty cunts and all this here. It's nuts. But
what did my dad do?
My dad was ready to beat all around him, but he had to get calmed down. And but I then swapped seats with my dad's friend at work for the second half, and I sat with his wee lad then, who was a couple of years older than me, and he stood up at the start of the second half and went, right, because everybody in the stand sort of saw what happened, not in the whole stand, but around that area.
Yeah. And the people back is up, like, or
no, they were all just watching. There was a couple ones shouting as well, but he turned around to all the ones in that area and went, "This is my mate, and he's a Celtic fan. If anybody has a problem with that, he's come to me." And he was only like 16. No, anyway. But in that same game, a girl who was a Celtic fan as well done the same thing. But another part of the ground, and she got whacked in the back of the head with a £2 coin. Had to go to A&E.
Jesus Christ!
Wild. ever since, like, I just hated United. Absolutely
Well, that
hated
would
them.
make it. Me and my dad and our cousin Jim and his mate Chico went over to the Mark Hughes testimonial.
Yeah.
Right, Jim and Chico were two Man United fans, but they came with us in the Celtic bus, and we were in front of like the glass executive boxes. That's where our seats was. And something happened inside the executive box, and there was slabbering going on, and Jim was slabbering to the glass at your man.
Right.
And Chico and the peelers came up and lifted us, and they brought us down. And Daddy was saying to the cab, "That's my son." I think this was in 1981.
Yeah.
I was 11, and he was like, "Right, that's okay, but then I can't arrest him." And my dad was like, "Well, you can't arrest me because we're in Manchester and I have to get him home."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Right, okay," and he didn't lift Daddy, but he lifted Jim and his mate, and they got arrested. And when we get home, Daddy had to go to Uncle Jim's house and explain what happened to Jim. And then Jim says what happened then was they get sent home on the boat, and there's a guy in the boat, didn't know that they were from West Belfast, and was slobbering about all the Fenians, but was buying them drinking food, and they had no money, so they would just sit there
I did on.
out there, whatever. But another one that happened to us was we were meant to go to Ibrox, and because there wasn't a bus going, we needed a 6-seater car, or a 7-seater, and I had the black taxi. But we weren't meant to go in the black taxi, we were meant to go in another fella's Jeep, and he pulled out the night before. And we had 6, so we couldn't take an ordinary car. So the only thing we had was my black taxi, and it was written up, Kale Star Chippy, Andy Town Road, Falls Road, all over it, right? And it was an old shaped black taxi, it wasn't even a modern one, and it sat away up, it was like a monster truck or something I had. So Hesse says, "You may bring it," and I was like, he says, "Well, if it does 100 mile on the road in a day, it'll do over to Glasgow and back." So we pulled in at Poglass roundabout to pick these 2 fellas up, and they go, "Go on, mate, we're not waiting in a taxi." And I said, "Sure." And I went, "No, mate, we're going to a Celtic match." And he went, "No, we're going to Ibrox, this is what you're going on." And they were like, "Are you serious?" 2 fellas were like, "What?" And I was like, "Get in."
Did it make it?
Oh, made it and came back. Oh, like it was no.
Unreal.
Now, it did leak through the window, and when I got to Glasgow, my leg was like completely wringing wet with the drip just coming in. But we first of all we pulled in at the boat, and as you say, there was 3 or 4 buses of Rangers men, and then there was 2 buses of Man United men carried off Man United supporters were there. And when we pulled in, they were all looking out the window at the taxi. So we had everything covered because we knew there'd be no more Rangers men on the boat than there would be Celtic men. So Heskey went, "Well, look, the taxi says everything on it. I don't think you can hide anything here." So here's me right there on. So I took my top off, had my Celtic top on, they're all banging the windows of their bus. Boom, boom, and I put the weight drag sign up on the taxi. And they were banging the window. And there's a guy, do you remember Kay Short that lives up the street from us and went to college and university with Mummy?
Yeah.
Her son, who knows me, he's a chef, he's a Man United man, he was on that bus, and he came over and went, "They're going to kill you here." And I was going, "Be alright." 2 fellas in the back were panicking that didn't know us, and then the rest were mates. So next minute this guy from the boat comes up and goes, "Black taxi." And I went, "What?" And he says, "Pull out of the lane there, will you?" And I says, "Oh, I dead on. I mean, we haven't done anything, pull them out of the lane." And he says, "Will you just pull a taxi out of the lane?" And I went, "No, I'm not, because we haven't done anything wrong. You're going to pull us and not let us on the boat, and we haven't done anything wrong." And I'm not done. He says, "The fucking captain says to put you on the boat first and get you up into the fucking Stana Plus, you bastard. Will you hurry up and just pull on the boat?" He pulled up, they upgraded us until the Stana Plus to keep us away from it. So he gets on the boat and we're up there and they're walking past the window and they're banging a window and the Stana Plus. And then when we got over there, they let us off the boat first, and we flew to Glasgow. And when we got to Glasgow, Hesse says, "Where are you going to park us?" I mean, "I don't know, but it doesn't lock, so I need to park it somewhere safe. Where's safe in Glasgow?" And I went, "You know what, I'm just going to try and park it in Ibrox." And he went, "There's not a chance you're going to get in." We literally got to the car park outside Ibrox, and I swung in, and the guy looked, seen the taxi, and went, "Whoa, whoa," and here's me, "Move out of the road now. We were told to pull us in. What are you doing?" I says, "Listen, see if you've any hassle with this, you ring the Sandy Road Rangers Supporters Club in Belfast, and they let you know who we are. Is that alright?" And he went, "Okay, mate, okay, Paul, no bother, put over in the corner." I put her in the corner. We get out with all Celtic tabs on. And he went, "What the fuck?" fuck? And then we walked over and fucking had to go through the police thing to get into the other side. And then after, Clintonville were playing Crusaders in a cup final. And we wanted to go and watch it. And the only place that was showing it was in the Barrowlands. And we drove through Glasgow and up one-way streets the wrong way and everything. And then this guy stopped at the lights and went, "What's the crack, West?" And I, "What are you doing in this old taxi?" And I says, "We're making a film about the IRA." And he's like, "Really?" He started taking pictures and all on his phone. And then we got, so it was dead funny, like, and we made it back again, like. But to go to a match at Ibrox in a Falls Road black taxi, like.
That's so funny.
It was some crack.
Right.
What else were you thinking?
I was also thinking, had a question. No, I'm actually going to check this. For a second, if you want to take it. Yeah, just want to make sure everything's going.
Hello? Uh-huh. What's happening? What are you at?
Are you free?
What?
Are you free for the 5th of September?
What date in December, mate?
So, September the 25th?
September.
Are you free that date?
I'm not, mate. September the 24th, 25th and 26th, I'm doing shows in the Limelight. Why? What's up?
I want to do a quick interview before my fight night, you know what I mean?
Right, okay. Oh, well, that's alright. Well, I can do something. Your fight night's on the 25th, did you say?
Aye.
Right, so you want me to do a wee interview with you that week or something?
Aye, that week, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's alright, Burnsy. We'll accommodate that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, that's alright.
Big show coming up, do you know what I mean?
Yes, well, no, we're better doing it a couple of weeks before it anyway, so it is. And then you'll pump it all up. Alright.
That's just like funny.
Alright, well, we'll do that then, Burnsy.
Yes, 100%, mate. 100%.
Here, why'd you not come up to my show on Sunday?
I never got a chance because my head was fucked up on Sunday, that fucking feeling, mate.
Right, okay. Well, here, I'm in Ardorn on Sunday.
Oh, fuck, God, I love you on Sunday.
Why? You're going too?
What?
You're going as well. You're opening for me. I told him you'd do support act. You'd do 20 minutes before me.
What bitch not on you do?
Crumlin Star.
Who's this for?
Who do you think it's for?
The feeling, is it?
Oh,
Right, well, give me a shoot Sunday. Give me a shoot
right.
Sunday.
Will you do 20 minutes for me?
What?
Will you do 20 minutes before me?
Yeah, I'll do 20 minutes before you anyway.
Right, okay, I'll do yeah. I'll get you on
Alright.
Sunday. Alright, that'll do, Burnsy.
Alright, mate. See you soon. See
Here,
you soon.
here.
What?
Is there any saying you doing this new Rocky movie?
I'm the lad.
I have a good thing for you. See if he's shouting at you, Sylvester Stallone over in the corner, you could tell him to shut up, pancake face Rambo nose. That'd be good. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll get talking to you on Sunday.
Alright. See you later, Connor. Right, see you later. Bye.
You couldn't have wrote that.
That's staying in. He rings in the middle of it all.
Oh, yeah, actually, you couldn't write that. You couldn't fucking write that, like.
I want to do an interview about the 25th of September on the 25th.
On the 25th of
when he's fighting.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant. Oh my god, that's 100%.
Well, you heard it. It's on camera now. Birdie's
Aye.
going to do 20 minutes before me and going to start Sunday.
Have we got questions?
I've got questions. Hold on to
Check and see. Last week was a mad podcast. You know, with everything chopping and changing.
I
all the
haven't
time.
even got looking back on it. Do you think?
But everybody seemed to enjoy it anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah. Few wee comments here and there. Just saying that Killian McClough said, was this one at the Ballymac Hotel? And it was, yeah, wasn't it? It was Ballymac.
What was that?
Last week.
No.
Where was it?
I didn't say the hotel. I wasn't saying it because I promised the thing. Why he thinks it is because I said Short Strong, but what I said in the thing was it wasn't Short Strong they were from. I said that to give an idea because I didn't want to actually give away the wedding that it was.
Oh right, okay, I'll cut that.
No, because the one in the Ballymac that he's talking about was that Shamie Kelly, who is a boxer, asked me, he works on the Liverpool boat, would I do his wedding? And I says yes. And I went up to the Ballymac to do the wedding, and basically just had a make, and I was in a bar, everybody's waiting, they were all crammed in this wee corner, and I went in and started doing my stuff, and I think I said fuck 3 times, and this woman came up to my face, and I turned around and I went, you alright? And she went, can you please stop cursing because there's children here? And I went, right, okay. And as she walked away, I says, thanks very much, love. And I says, just to let you know, she says that every time I say fuck, she's going to put a fiver in the trucker box. It's awful kind of her. And she turned around, and then it turned out it was his mother-in-law.
Oh, Jesus.
So it was the mother of the bride.
What do you want to do here, like?
So I tried not to swear after it, and then I had a wee kid running over to me and tapped me and going he wanted to tell a joke, and every time I put the mic down he wanted to tell a joke, and then I had to scream, and then my mouth was dead dry and stuff. But no, well, I mean, Jimmy was happy, and so that's the wedding he was
He says my dad sends his regards for the mahogany table joke, though my said you were lucky to get any laughs.
Okay. Well, the man must be the mother of the bride.
Somebody else says, great chat again, lads. Paddy, who's the girl from Derry?
Who's the girl from Derry? For what?
You were saying that there's a girl up in Derry on TikTok. I remember that it says that they're trying to
push her. I don't know her name. Andrea showed me on it, and then somebody else told me about it. I don't know her name, but I know that there's people involved in comedy pushing her to maybe do a show, and that's going to happen. But I don't know her name. So sorry, I don't know her name.
Anna O'Neill says William is looking super fit. Well,
who said that?
Anna O'Neill. Well, he's available.
He's available? Oh, he's sure if you want him. I don't know about the fit bit, but he's looking well, if that's what you mean.
Ryan M says the wee shed's looking well, Paddy. No, this is for last week. So.
Aye, because he was joking about the thing.
Paul McAlinden says fair play, lads, to keep the podcast going. C Buckets says brilliant show on Wednesday, so he must have been
excellent
down Banbridge.
Yeah.
Book address. Never heard of this kid Butler, but he seems good. Great work, Paddy.
Also, I'm looking through this.
Are you looking for your questions?
Yeah.
So it's person Conor Gallagher. It said great content, lads. Nice seeing Sean on the pod this week. Looking forward to the gig on Monday. So he must have been there.
Yeah.
The other day, writing this at the end of the podcast. William, you're doing a great job on the pod. Fuck people talking shit.
Aye. That's a fella. Fancies him as well then.
So good to finally see Sean. Seems like a lovely dude and smart too. Thank you.
There you go. Well, that's nice comments. Nobody gives me nice comments like that. Nobody used to get that. Nobody says I look fit or anything. I'm just the old lad on it, I suppose. Nobody wants that thing.
I see. I met Burnsy recently and filmed him calling me pancake face rubber nose. There you go. Where you rung us in for that one there.
He rung us in for that one. That's definitely staying in.
Aaron Buttman Butler is class. Get him back again as a regular guest. Up the Mudblood, yo. That was Scott M.
Hope he does.
Love seeing Sean on and getting to know more about him. Love the podcast, guys. Always guaranteed quality. Thank you. And last one, Jordan Graham. Wasn't sure if Butler on Wednesday, but he was brilliant.
Well, the thing about Butler, as we talked about last week, so I'll not go over too much old ground. But when he came back, I got him for a couple of gigs and he was just brilliant. So
yeah,
you know, whenever you do a lineup, a lot of comedians will use people that they don't think's too good before them.
Yeah,
and then they go out and then they look like a superstar. And that seems to be a formula that a very few people would do.
Yeah.
I don't like doing that. I mean, I think if you're going to put a night on, you want it to be the best of the best. Like, you want it to, maybe absolutely not the best at best, but you're going to put a night on just that things. And I think that's what I done on the fella. It looked well. Every act that went on done well. There was nobody had negative comments, apart from my dad, but...
What did he say to you after?
Oh, didn't even. I'm not even going into it. He didn't even say it the night. He said the day there, and I cracked up.
Were you working with him a day?
No, I just called in to see him, and it was literally a 2-minute affair because I blew up and left the house.
Serious?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So he
seemed to enjoy it on the night though.
Yeah, but I knew in his head that he was niggling, and it wasn't even about the night. Do you know what? He had something to say about the night he wasn't even there. So it wrecked my brain. But did you see the video of me coming out in the second night?
Yeah.
So it just got the inspiration just to see Mick Conlon, and it's like it's millions of views.
Yeah.
So I sort of had a thing where my opening joke should be, well, if he can do it, I can do it. So I came out, I had a black mask on my face, and then the joke is, obviously from the other night, I says it took so many years ago, I went on, the first gig I ever did at the Phil, I went on with a balaclava on. I says, so it's strange now that I'm headliner that the audience has to wear a black mask. So I got on the black mask and then played Grace and then done all the fighting, and then I says, if it's good enough for McConnell, it's good enough for Paddy McDonald. So it was a bit of a joke, and my daddy didn't like it. So
sure, you can't please everybody.
Can't please everybody,
Not even your dad.
Especially your dad. Especially your dad.
What was your thing I was going to ask you? So moving on from the stuff from Aaron last week, we talked a lot about his wee sketch group and stuff, and what's some of your favourite videos from the local lads, that they've put out over the years? Like some of your all-time favourite like characters, or or just
Colin Gaddis is very, very, very good. He done this one time explaining his background, because Colin just came out and he was by the blender, and then he done the whole story behind it, and he done a story how he was in arts college and this was part of his thing and whatever, and he made the video, and that's where that came from, and then it blew up. He's very, very good at explaining things, but he done this one video one time which was about material on his hand, and he had all comedians and all, and it showed like him washing the material off, so writing it on and then washing it off, and then it had all different comedians and it had music to it, and I just thought it was like literally a 3-minute video, and I thought just visually and everything it was just brilliant.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you know what, that is just brilliant. It was just the way he done it, the way he shot it, just everything.
I've never seen that.
It's excellent. It was a wee to him probably an insignificant video, but I think it was because I could relate to it, maybe because I had a wee flash in it, but it was about material and about comedy, and it was just one of them things that you're involved in, that it just meant so much to you, and then I was just like, wow, and I just went, you know what, that was actually brilliant. That explained a hell of a lot in 3 minutes.
I'm sure there's a lot of like,
I think Colin, what he does is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Like I went to see his show in Edinburgh, and he done like videos of him and stand up, and he was amazing. And I think now even Colin is a stand up comedian on its own standalone thing. He's one of the best we have. But definitely with his artist eye and his thing, the way he puts things together and all, it's great. And it was great to see, and it encourages you to put it on a wee bit better. And I think that's why I wanted to put on a good night the other night, because I'm not great at computers and making sketches. I'm good at writing them, and not good at actually editing videos or shooting stuff or doing anything like that. So it was good that I could put my thought into it, and then other people could produce the stuff for me then to just do what I do best, which is stand and tell jokes.
But
in terms of videos that people have done, James McKegney done this one of him dressed up as like a bishop and run about Port Rouge on the beach and all, and I just thought it was fucking brilliant. Like I literally laughed and laughed and laughed. That one there stands out that I can remember off my head. Other ones I'm trying to
it's funny because I think, as you said, there's probably ones that see like me and my mates would quote to each other.
Yeah.
That a load of users wouldn't even remember yous have done it.
Oh, why? Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
What you mean?
Like
I remember the Lambegan one I done, which we filmed in Thompson's years ago.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the house and an advertisement come on for... It was
like a Zumba thing.
Zumba fitness. And I went... And it was just like a light in your head, and I went, what if I done that, only it's orange marching?
Yeah.
And then I went, Lambeg drum, Lambegan, Zumba. And went up the stairs, got the book, and wrote it literally in 3 seconds. And went, that's a sketch. And then pulled everybody to go out. It has 30,000 hits or something. We brought it out way at the start. If we'd done something like that now and done it better, it probably would have thousands. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like hundreds of thousands of hits. The sketches we done for Tate Shorts were pretty good.
Oh, yeah. And like, if you think about the views that like is on them,
We've had over
it's
100 million views on it.
Yeah, it's
Over
insane.
It's unreal. It's like bigger views than they've ever had in the BBC before. Even though it's on a digital format, it's fucking huge.
Yeah. Some of my favourites, like what did you call that? It isn't even like a sketch. But remember, a couple of you's done the piece on BBC, and it was like just wee clips of stand up. Well, it was late license, and there was a clip of Kieran
doing the thing,
doing
the Irish folk song.
The Irish folk song,
and people have took that and have it on TikTok and has millions of views.
That
on
is one of the funniest.
That's
things
one of
I've
his
ever
bits.
seen.
Like,
I remember him doing that years ago.
He's unreal.
Yeah, but
like,
I remember seeing that.
The first time I ever seen Kieran performing, I hadn't even met him, and I went to Derry to do like an open mic thing in Masons, and I came walking in, and Kieran was on, and when he finished, like we had 10 minutes each, and when he finished, I went, I shouldn't even come up here, because basically he'd done 3 songs. Everybody knew the songs.
Yeah,
they knew the original version, so they were able to join in, even though it was the different words that he put in them. And I went, "You're not going to tap that." I mean, that just blew everybody away. So Kieran's one of them acts that, and Colin started putting me and him on, and I don't know what way it would work, but sometimes I'd be on after him, and you'd be sitting there wrecked because I've worked all day, and it's going on for 11:15, and I'm only getting on stage, and Kieran's just went up there and done 5 banging songs. So I'm going, I really need to pull this out of the back. I used to go up and then just go, like it was like giving me a big injection to boost or something, and I just used to just go on and go. And I had to be so animated, and then he used to go, fuck you, and I used to go, no, fuck you, Kieran, because I would have went on there and just went, Jesus, I'm ragged, fucking, and just threw out a lot of shit, but it spurred me to jump up. So he's that. Kieran would be that. There's a lot of people don't like going on after him. I don't mind because it makes me play better. Like I think Sunday night was good. I played too long. I was on for an hour and 20 minutes. Monday night I'd done a solid hour and 5 minutes, and it was like, I'm not doing crowd work here, and I just went bang bang bang, and I know I was dead sharp Monday, which is a good thing because it was being recorded. But it was like a sharper, better act. So sometimes, you know, it's the way it goes. But I think everybody had a good time on Sunday. Yeah. But other sketches that I'm trying to think, Shane's one that he does with William as a mechanic thing, not a massive sketch or anything, but very, very relatable. Yeah. The ones he does with Keith Cruz as well.
Aye.
Very, very good.
And the one, like, me and Nicole basically say every line of it to each other every day is Chad and Courtney. Him and Colin doing them 2 characters.
On Late Lessons?
No. Like, just he done 2 for... One on his own page, and he done 1 for BBC of them 2 characters.
Yeah.
There's one
Did
for St. Paddy's Day. They were like Americans,
tourists down in
but they're like they studied here,
yeah.
And so they've got like half American
Yeah.
accents and half Belfast accents, and it's just it's one of them ones where every line is like something you can say.
Shane got me to do one of them videos with him, which was one of them ones like an American guy playing a bad accent.
Yeah.
And then he made like 6 others of them. So I don't know if he didn't like the one that he made the rest of them. But they were quite good. I like Belfast Blues. Did you watch it?
I like Belfast Blues.
I mean, he wanted it done on purposely bad. And like we went out of our way to make it look really bad. Like we were doing it really well, and he was saying, no, you're going to have to retake it. Like that's too well done. You have to do it like really bad. And it turned out there's like a cult following of it. There's people that actually send me things and go, can you send me a video of you doing this line out of it? And I'm like, wow, like people really like bad things. I done the one Father McGregor.
Yeah.
And
that never really took off.
And I thought it was a great concept.
And it was really well put together.
Yeah, like I went out of my way to make sure it was done. Stephen Mullen done it, and he spent so much time in it. And I said, Stephen, I want this to be perfect because anything I make, I just thought about. And I wanted this to look the part, and I'd done it all right, and it just didn't take off. I don't know whether it was too long or what was the issue with it, but it just never ever happened.
It's just strange, you know, like.
And then I done one on a building site one day when the snow came on. It has like 500,000 hits. And it's just me standing doing a report. And it was literally Frankie was standing there. It's shot really badly. It's me in a building site and you can see the snowfall in the back and I'm standing with a monkey hat on and I land on to be a reporter. And yet it gets all them views. Like it went everywhere. That went viral. And you're going, how can that work? Like I was on a phone taken by this and then it goes. And it was the same. I'd done another one in the house. When the hosepipe ban came in and I was sitting and I had a loyalist flag and I was sitting going, they're trying to take our culture and their hose pans now. And that went viral too. The wee cock one. People don't even know that's me. There's only people realising that was me done that.
What one?
It's the wee one that was the wee cock on... I done it on Mad Lips. And it's... You get up the fucking laddie. What are you all doing still in bed? I've been up partying all night. Keep her lit. That's it now. And somebody put that on TikTok and has millions of views on it. That was me. And they took it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But what can you do?
No.
But that went viral. That was like for weeks. My phone was bing, 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 bing. People
Send it?
no people fucking tagging their mates on the post. Just do. I have it there. Like it was scary. Her. And then another one I done was I was going till Kiva's christening of Caden. So it was about 5 years ago, and basically. I just put up a wee story just saying what happens at a West Belfast christening. You know, all the fellas and girls go to TK Maxx or Madelon, get the stuff for the christening, blah blah blah, and then just detail what happens, and then it ends up for me saying 4 people only end up in Thompson's because there was a fight over taxis and down a phone, and you go and get a carrot in a wee shop, and it went viral. It was just a post just writing down what happens in a West Belfast thing, and people were going, this is going to be us next Sunday, and blah blah blah. Mental.
Yeah. And that's...
What are we on?
We're on 52 minutes.
You're done then?
Yeah. What was... There was one more that I had in mind that I wanted to bring up.
A topic?
No, like one of those...
Videos?
So it said Shane and Colin with Chad and Courtney. Said the Kieran Bartlett one. But... know who... Yeah, that's who it was. For me and all my mates, like... It was... Like, we always loved Cormac stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because it was just real West Belfast.
Yeah.
And it looked like something your mates put together, knowing your moving images
the
class.
Boys, yeah.
Like, but it was like what everybody in their moving images class thought they were making when they were trying to do something funny.
Yes. Yeah.
But that was
funny.
fucking hilarious. And it was just everybody sent it to each other. And the fact that he was doing that
was
10 years ago. One? No, way before that even. The funniest one that he ever done was at Jason Goes to Andytown. Right. Did you ever see it?
Nah.
And it was like Jason, like the horror. He made like a horror film, but it's like in Blackstaff Mill or something, or in one of the mills. And it's just somebody dressed up as Jason going about and killing all his mates.
Right.
But it ends up with Cormac going joyriding with him and getting knocked on it. I swear to God, it's just fucking hilarious.
I remember the one he brought, like, it was his refugee mate or something.
Yeah.
In the house,
and William's in that.
Yeah.
And William's
in most of them.
Yeah.
So he is. And William's in the other one he done. It was like a promo video for them Smick nights that he done.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting there. It's like Grand Theft Auto, and there's money flying everywhere, and there's a couple of girls in bikinis, and William's sitting with a wee gun.
But
here, Comic has a great visual eye too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's a creative thing. I was in a film with him, you know.
Aye.
It was a Christmas one, the Christmas Carol, the Belfast Christmas Carol or something it was called. And there was a scene in it on the Ormeau Bridge. We had to chase him. He was wearing a Celtic hat, and we were all dressed in black. Right? There was a guy who was in a heavy metal band, and then there was a guy out of Game of Thrones.
Right.
Who played one of the guys in Game of Thrones, and we had to chase him down the Ormeau Bridge, and he's wearing a Celtic top, so we had to do like 3 or 4 takes, and the cameraman was away down the river, so he's taking like a few of this. We were doing it, and the third time we chased him down a car load, pulled in from a lower Ormeau, and went, the fuck he's doing chasing that wee lad because he's wearing a Celtic top, this bastard. And I was like, whoa, I'm a fucking Celtic man. We're fucking about to get in the fucking car, the comic, and all he was going, no, we're filming what? There's a camera way down there. They thought we were a couple of hours, man, chasing a wee lad, we're going to kill us.
Fucking, do you ever do this? Do you ever be somewhere and you have a feeling that people are looking at you thinking that he's a Protestant. Like if you're in a real
Do you know
Catholic area,
Do you know, like, no way years ago I had the curtains and all the earrings. So I had all the
so you
earrings
look like a
and
Protestant.
And I used to wear a blue Adidas, like tracksuit top with jeans and fucking big boots with wooden heels on them and all. I dressed like them and everything. And I went to the Pink Pussycat in the Glen Road, which was McDee's, one Sunday night, and the bouncer at the door was convinced of it.
But when you're in them situations, do you have a wee thing in your head where you're going, what's all the things I can do to prove that I'm a Catholic?
And he says to me, where are you from? And I went, Grantia. He went, whereabouts? I said, Grantia Grove. Where's that? I mean, behind the shops. What school do you go to? Me CBS. Who's your teacher?
It's like trying to get into Curly Cinema when you're 11.
Mate, this is a fucking Pink Pussycat. Are you serious? And he was like, I don't like a look at you. And I went, my name's Paddy. And then I went, are you serious? Like, and my mates had already all went in. And then, lucky enough, someone came behind me and went, what's happening? Paddy's on him. He's not letting me in. He says, do you know him? He went, aye. What's his name? Paddy, you heard me call him. You sure now you know him? Oh, right, okay. He said, I'm keeping an eye on you.
No, but it's just, see if
why?
But I have playing in different bars all over the place. I have to have my wee, like, I flip between identities.
See, my man
like
Dad
living a double life.
My man and Dad used to freak out that I would go anywhere.
Same with me. And
like, listen.
My daddy never called me Sean if we went somewhere.
Your name's
Sam or John or something like. But see when I'm playing and like.
Whereas now, like I told you, I drove down the Shanghai the other day with Celtic top on. And wee man stopped me for a photograph.
I think you can get away with it more though, because you're funny. Or because of comedy, like it's like he's a gay,
he's
you know.
right, yeah.
But when we were playing in like real rough bars in like Ardoyne or whatever, and like one's come up to you and say like, here, play Grace or play such and such, and you go, no, here we don't play anything like that. We don't play any rebel songs or nothing, mate. Sorry. And then you start seeing the murmurs going about, and then you're going, fuck, if somebody says something like that, what will do? Whip out the Irish. Like, or like, tell them I'm Sean, or show them the.
Oh, right. So you have been in places and they've asked you to play Republican songs, and you say we don't.
Every week,
and they crack up when you don't do it.
Yeah. People, and then they start
giving
giving
you a Protestant and it says, "Will you play Penny Arcade?"
all time as well.
Do you play it?
No.
What do you just say? We don't play any.
Yeah, you just give them the same thing both places, because here's the thing: if I play,
what if you turned around and says in the Shanghai, "Listen, I don't play Republican songs." No, because you've had it in your head. And you go, I don't play Republican songs, and they go, "Didn't ask you to play Republican songs. I asked you to play a loyalist song."
What
did they ask? But what did they say? They don't say. Do they say a loyalist song or what?
No, because
just say the name
it's different. It's different because
surely
in loyalist areas they don't like consider it like loyalist songs or whatever. It's more
just the name of the song.
It's just the name of the song.
And what would they ask for?
They would ask for Orange Wings, Simply the Best, or Penny Arcade.
Right. What's Orange Wings?
It's like a UDA song or a UVF song. I don't know.
Oh, you don't know it?
I don't even know it. Like, but I get asked for it, and I go, mate, look, I know it. Like, we play it around a corner and all, but like, we can't play it here because somebody takes a video of us, sends that up. We play in some big take area, and then we're gonna get shot.
Well, I go, alright.
And I go, aye, right enough. Like, oh, sure, just play it. Nobody's gonna take a video. See, somebody takes a video, I'll fucking
shoot them.
And I go, know what to do? Say, go. I don't even have the book with me. I don't have the wee sheet, so I can't play it. Say that bar and stick it on once we're off. And he goes, nah, play it now. And I go, fuck.
You're gonna have to learn it.
But they asked you for loads of other ones.
I didn't tell you
every other Saturday.
The one I done on Monday night. I never done this bit on Sunday night. I missed it out. It was on the list and I forgot to say it because I was doing so much crowd work. But I was in Edinburgh playing the Fringe. But it wasn't my own show. So what happens is you go over for a couple of days and you'll jump on a couple of other Fringes shows, people's shows and compilation shows and whatever. So there's a bar called the Three Sisters, and in it there's a big courtyard and they have like pizza ovens and they have, spit roast and all these different things.
Oh Jesus, sounds like a party.
Oh, I know. the actual pulled pork burgers, like, and there's a double decker bus, but all the Irish comedians hang about in there. Yeah. And you'll get a gig if you hang about. And so I got back and I'm standing there, and Hearts must have been playing a friendly that day because there's a big table of Hearts fans sitting there. And I was looking at him here, man was massive. And I mean massive. Like, he looked like a fucking one of them strong men. He just, it was just huge, his top and his arms and everything, and he's just sort of looking. And he looked over towards where the gate was, but what I didn't notice was a massive big TV. And he went, he's the biggest fucking comedian in Scotland. And I turned around to look, because I thought, fuck, who's come in? Billy Connolly or fucking, Cam Bridges or something? And I looked over and there was nobody at the gate. And I looked up at the TV and Neil Lennon was on the TV. And I sort of smirked and turned and looked at him. And he looked at me. And I looked back at him, and then I sort of dropped the smile, and he stopped the smile too. And then he went, come here, right? And I went, what do you want? And then he heard my voice, Belfast lad, come here. And I went over to him, and he went, do you see that bastard? And I says, aye. He says, Neil Lennon. He says, I think he's a fiendish bastard. Do you agree with me? And I went, fuck. Like, I knew him. I've been out drinking with him.
Well, yeah, 100% you turn around and go, why, he's a ball root.
I went, no.
Oh, Jesus
and his face
Christ.
dropped, right? And when his face dropped, I went, I'm going to get killed. So I turned around and went, I think he's a massive ginger, orange, smelly, fiendish fucker. And your mum went, I fucking love you. What's your name? And me, Sammy. Where you from? Sandy Row. We gave every year for the parades, mate. And me, do you are? So every second song I went to sing was the fucking size. And I kept making excuses. So I had gigged for like a cricket club. And the guy says to me, if you're ever in trouble, give me a ring.
Yeah.
He's from a Lord Astoria. And I rang him, and they played a football team. It was a Saturday afternoon. But why Neil Lennon was on the TV? They were playing Liverpool in Dublin in a friendly. And that's why they were on the TV screen. So I went into the toilet actually, and I was up on the toilet at the window, because it's like a big stone building in Edinburgh. As you know, they're all dead old buildings, big thick walls, and I couldn't get, so I had the thing up at the window, and I was going blah blah blah, trying to get him, and then eventually it just rang. And I says, well, mate, what's a crack? He says, what's happening? Here, lads, it's wee Paddy, the comedian, remember, done our fucking football night. I goes, what's a crack? I mean, dead on. He says, where are you? Here's me, I'm over in Edinburgh. What are you doing? Here's me, I'm over at the Edinburgh Fringe. Are you doing your own show? No, I'm over doing all the shows. Hear me, look, I haven't got much battery. I need a hand. He says, what is it? And here's me. Can you do me a favour? Can you text me the words to this? Why, what's the matter? And I says, no, I'm stuck here and I need to know the second line at least, or even the good part of the song, just to join in with somebody here. I'm in a wee bit of bother. And he went, no problem, I tell you what, better still, we'll sing it for you now. And I went, right, go ahead. And he went, up a rye, you feeding bastard. I just sat in the toilet till it was 7 o'clock at night. And then went out and couldn't, and they were away, like, thank God. But I was going, here's me, they're going to kill me. Like, your mum was huge. Like, when he had me held down, I couldn't move. And I was literally there for about an hour. And then I went, I buy, no, you're no bad drink. Nobody from Sandy will buy a drink in our company. I was like, fuck me, I can't get away. And then I was shaping myself in case somebody came in and went, there's Paddy, and come over and went, well, Paddy, what's a crack? And then he would have went, Sammy, he called you Paddy. Do you know what I mean? I'd have had to kill somebody, I knew.
That's fucking brilliant. But we had a fucking gig out in Newton Ards a couple of years ago, and you know, as I said, like every other week people come up and ask for songs, and both sides are as bad as each other, and we deal with it fairly well. And mostly the ones from our side are the ones that get more annoyed about it, you know, because it's such a big thing on our side, just having rebel nights and everything else. So when you don't do it, it's like, well, who the fuck are you? But so we are not really usually bothered by it, and we just get on with it and usually deal with it dead on. But this gig out in Newton Ards, we were playing and the bar was quiet, like there was barely anybody in it. And there was actually a Spanish girl and her daughter there, like, listening to us and joining us all night. And but Rangers were playing earlier that day, and there was a couple of fellas roundabout in their Rangers tops had been watching the match in the bar earlier that day. And we were dead on, you know, we were talking to some of them. Then a stag party came in, and they were a bit rowdy, and they were coming over asking for songs, and we just sort of told them to clear off and everything else. Moved on with the night, and next thing, a coach pulls up outside from the Rangers match that day, and 40 Rangers men all empty into the bar. And this wee tiny bar in Newton Ards, like, which had a couple of people in it, now is like rammed, and you can't even hear us over them and singing. And so we were sitting there trying to play wee George Ezra covers, and they're all fucking singing all the loyalist songs of the day and coming up to us and asking for stuff, and we were going, I just can't even hear us anyway, don't leave it. And like, I looked over at Matt's like out there shaking like we'd never packed up quicker in our life and got out of her. But you go into the toilet now at our wee break, our interval, and people come up to you and go, lads, freaking brilliant, you're doing great out there, really enjoying it. Like, whereabouts you from? And you're like, fuck, Belfast.
Do you know, I'm probably stupid, right? But I've always got away with just telling the truth. Yeah. Like, I had the taxi one night and pulled in, and these three girls get in. We're going to, actually out to Dundalland, where William's from. And we get out, and when we get out there, they picked up 3 fellas in band uniforms. So my taxi takes 5 in the back. Well, it did when I had it, and 1 in the front. So one of them has to get in the front. So I says, where are you going now? And they says, just drive towards Newton Ards and Bangor. It's the road in between. And I went, right, okay. So I'm driving down, not even thinking, but it says Padraig in my arm. And your man in the front turns around and goes, tell you what, there's not many female Catholic drivers in the town, is there, like? And I went, oh, well, there's a couple, like. And he went, do you know any? I says, well, I know myself. And then I know the other couple of them. And he started laughing. And I said, where are you from? I says, look, mate, I'm from West Belfast, like. What part? Yeah, I work with a few people from there. Here's me, man. You probably wouldn't know it, mate. And he goes, do you know such and such, such and such? No, he said about 3 names, I don't know. And he says, right, here. And here's me, hope he doesn't tell the ones in the back. Your man here's from West Belfast. And the R2 was like, is that right? Why? No, we are looking on me. I've seen your uniforms. Here's me had a fair idea when I drove into your estate and it had red, white and blue in the curbs and the big murals. I had a fair idea you were loyalists, yeah. And they started laughing. And he says, who do you support? And one of them says, he says Man United or something. And I says, no, I support Celtic. And their jaws near drop. Like, their jaws, here they were. Are you serious? I mean, why would I deny it? We're the most successful team in Scotland. Why would I? They were in stitches that I was saying it, right? So I was dead on anyway. And then one of them was going, oh, well. And he started singing a song, whatever, to try and annoy me. And I says, right. And he says, here, do you know any jokes? Swear to God. Now, they didn't know I was done comedy, even though it wasn't on the scale I do it now. And one of the boys, I don't know who done it, but there was a few of the boys on the circuit. I know Mickey said it, and I know Shane said it at one stage, and I seen Sean Haggerty doing it. So there's this joke that they go, hard as an orange man, give a blowjob. And then they do this. Right? So when your man says, if you have any good jokes, I says, how long will stop and show you? So I physically stopped, which I shouldn't have done on a carriageway, turned all the lights on the taxi and done it, and I swear to God, the fucking collapsed in the taxi, and they went, that's fucking brilliant. And we got on down, your mum was still laughing in the front. I got to where they were going, they all got out, and here's me, I'm not getting paid for this. I thought I wasn't getting paid, and your mum went, right, everybody give us a tenner each. And they give me, it was like a 28 pound taxi. They give me 60 quid.
Fuck.
Your man shook my hand. He says, do you know what, mate? He says, you're just like one of us. And I says, no, definitely not. And he went, you are a funny bastard. He hit me a big slap. And away he went. And that was it. Like, and I got the money and I was away. So it could have went totally the opposite way there. Do you know what I mean? It could have been real hassle. But it was one of them ones where once it came out in the uniforms and I seen them, I was like, this could go nasty for me, but it didn't. And it just showed you, and that was humour, got me out of that night. And then sure, everybody knows the other stuff I've done in the bars and whatever. Like, I have stories I could tell, like people coming up and rapping doors, and I was doing a gig in the Shorts Club, and I was out the back with a band, Celtic Heart or something you call them. They're like a tribute band till Van Morrison. Celtic Soul, I think you call them.
No.
There's about 20 fellas in this band, and we're sitting out the backstage. I was doing MC, and they rap at the door. This is the comedian there? And they says, they're looking at the comedian. And one of them went, Paddy, they're looking at the comedian. I says, who is it? And your mum went, who is it? And your mum says, tell him it's UVF. And I went, well, I'm not going out. The band were like, and I went, what do you mean it's the UVF? And he's like, what? We want to have a word with you. And I was going, no. And I says, what do you want? And he went, no, we want to book you for a gig in a bar. And I went, what? And they were like, come and book you for a gig. And I was like, well, I'll be out in about 20 minutes. And I'm sitting in there going, I'm not going out there. I was panicking. But genuinely, when I went out, I had to leave to go home that night. Your mum was like, yeah, I want to book you for a bar in East Belfast. No, there's blues nights. No, we're all there at the blues nights. No, be 100%. There's people come over from the west.
Unreal.
Aye, right. I hear something that happened just recently, just to bring it up on here, was Jamie Brayson put up on Twitter slabbering about, let me get this right so we'll get it to see. Here we go. Because as you know, over the years, me and him have had to and fro of...
You have had a stop-start relationship.
Aye, you know. And I'm not getting signal in here, Sean, for some reason. So basically he put up this post where he was giving off about Fela getting so much money. And how Fenians get more than loyalists. And over the years I've been speaking to Jamie, I've been saying that he should use what?
The day.
No, but what I've always said to him is use your platform to fucking get the same things. All you need to do is see what they're doing. See what they're doing in West Belfast. That money will be there for anybody who applies for it.
Yeah.
So if they were able to go and produce a thing and have they could have their own festival in Bangor if they really wanted, or East Belfast has a festival.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say that they can't be part of that and push it and him bring it to Donegal or East Belfast or do whatever. But he put up slabbering about it. So I just put up, Jamie, don't worry about it, mate. I don't want you thinking that, you weren't part of it. I mentioned you a fair bit in my set, so you were well part of the night. And he wrote below it, sorry, I don't know who you are. You see, Jamie's old war cry to me used to be, oh, Paddy, see the comedy career's not taking off too well and all. Come back to me whenever it's good. Now that I'm doing sell-out shows in the Ulster Hall, he doesn't talk to me no more. Like, he's forgot who I am. But somebody actually photoshopped one of his replies to me once and put it below the comment. So it was a bit stupid then. Let me see. Well, I can't get it now, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah, and I'll put it up on the screen.
But Jamie, come on, for God's sake, seriously, like,
come on the podcast.
Come on the podcast, yeah, definitely, because I think the only way to debunk this is to bring him on and show him. I show him how to do it, and I think it's all public funds. Like, I think you can go and request the information about finding out how much money people get and how they get it, because Woodfield have a festival too.
Yeah, but it's not even that. I think it's, they obviously really get a lot of public funding for the bonfires. So don't have the bonfires, and then you can have your.
Maybe they don't want to do that.
Exactly. Well, if you get your bonfires and we get a boxing fight,
I don't know. I'm sure they could have boxing fights, and I'm sure they could have everything that's done here. And to be honest with you, they're more than welcome to come into West Belfast to go to it. A lot of people do it.
But that's like your man from UVF saying, we have loads of people from West going over. You're like, right.
No, I know. But I have played that bar he's talking about.
Yeah.
Just, they didn't book me through that channel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just was done a different way. I mean, he ended up doing the gig. I never knocked back a gig. Do you know what I mean? Played the Welder, played them. I've played all their bars. Like, there's nowhere I want to go. And here, another thing too. I was asked about doing a gig in the Shankill Road. In the Spectrum Centre, and it's fell through, and I'm raging it's fell through. I really want to do it. So if there's anybody out there that wants to help push me, get me on the Shankill Road to do a show, I'm more than up for it.
There you go. Get them sorted out.
Get it done. But yes, listen, them two lads that I met at the boxing, they're related to Lorcan Murphy, who I'm godfather for. I definitely will mention this next week. I'll find the thing and I'll put it up, or resend me a thing with your names and I'll mention the two yous in the podcast. I did say I would do it. I normally don't do that, and it's not something I'm going to do every week, but I will mention you too. And just I just want to thank the fella and all the team, the people at the Dabneys, all for everything they've done for me. So thank you guys.
And send in your questions for next week.
Yes, early. Get them in early.
We are going to do the wee local artist playlist on Spotify. So I'm going to work that out with William during the week. And so if your local band out there wants your stuff put up in our official Spotify playlist, then we'll do that. And there was also another thing. Well, shout out to the clothing brand,
Hypnosis again.
Hypnosis.
And there's a 10%, Mudblood 10 gets you 10% off their clothing. Thank you guys. Still haven't seen any of it, by the way. William is not coming across with that at all. Did you get yours?
I haven't had mine. I think he sold it.
I genuinely think he's done something with it, because it's like we haven't had any of it.
No. Otherwise we'd be wearing it.
Yeah, because William's been wearing it everywhere. Like every gig he's went to with me, he's been wearing the hat or the top, sort of rubbing it in my face. I don't think they sent me and you stuff at all.
No, they definitely haven't. He's just run about in really baggy clothes.
There's a wee shop in Tullycornet that's in the front and a wee dummy next to the band uniforms. Right, good night folks, see you all next week.
Cheerio.